Yeah, you can.
Hello, LifeVantage. Darren Jensen coming to you from our broadcast studios here. And let me just do a couple of technical things. I generally don't use Zoom as much, so I'm not as, I have to close some things. Well, welcome everyone. We're glad to have you here with us on this beautiful Tuesday. And as you can see, I'm here in our broadcast studios. It's where we filmed our launch for the Vitality Stack. Let me give you a quick look around. Kind of really cool. I like how they have it set up. Get that set down. And yeah, like I mentioned, we're really looking at upping our game in doing our digital broadcast. So I'm waiting for our Studio B to finish. And it's going to be exciting because it'll be dedicated to just doing some of our internet broadcasts. Well, anyway, today is a continuation of our doctor series, and we have Dr. Peter Vertigam here, who's also not only a doctor but doubles as our VP of International over the European markets for us. Before I get to him, we always give away products. So today, I'm assuming that Dana set this up with me because we're going to give away some of our Vitality Stacks. Now, if you have not had a chance to order any of these, awesome. I love them because not only are they come in a very convenient box, but the sachets are absolutely awesome. You can see what it kind of looks like in the back. So you have 9 pills and tablets back there, everything from omega-3 to Physique. The Physique Pro Bio, and then we also have the Pro Tandem Nerf 1 and 2 in there. So 9 different pills, and they're just so convenient. Now I travel with these, it makes it easy. Now I'm not being a grandpa filling up my big pill case and taking them with me wherever I travel. Now I travel with these. And you know, these are just so perfect. I was out in California yesterday, and I ran into some people, and I was able to pass out a couple of these, and they became very good for just sampling. So anyway, put down your name, your city, state, and we'll put you into the drawing to win some of those. I'm not sure how many we'll give away. It'll probably be several. So again, name, city, and state. All right. Well, today, as I said, it's a continuation of our doctor series. And I've got Dr. Peter Vertigam here with me. Let me read you a little bit about his bio so that you're familiar with him. You've seen him on stage, though, so he should be a familiar face. So Peter is from Holland and has his MBA from Brigham Young University. He has a Master's of Science and PhD in Organic Chemistry. It's as if an MBA wasn't enough. You just throw in, you know, a PhD and another master's on top of that. His first career was in science, developing nutritional solutions for health concerns. Then he moved to management in the MLM industry. He has lived and worked in various countries, including the Netherlands, Germany, the UK, United States, and Sweden. He is extremely passionate about network marketing and wants to bring nutritional interventions to a wider audience. And with that, Peter, welcome. Glad to have you on today.
Thank you, Darren. It's always a pleasure to be part of this series. And let me tell you, I'm in Studio G for Germany. You know, you see the background here. It's nothing like your studio there. This is what it looks like in Munich. I live in Munich. There's always wood. This is what we call a Stube for your audience, that you can learn, you know, how Bavarian houses look. So, but I have my Pro Tandem over here, as you can see in the back.
Awesome.
So, you know, I have a studio as well.
Well,
I'm actually in my kitchen. So. Okay.
Well, I was going to ask you where you're at. I didn't know where in the world you might be. But I have to say, my wife and I, we traveled out and met with Peter and his wife. And the Munich area, and then you travel over into Austria, just beautiful areas. I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking where you live.
Absolutely. I live in Munich because, you know, of course, we have Holland, UK, and Germany as open markets in Europe. And Germany is the number 4 market worldwide in terms of network marketing. So this is the place to be. Here we're going to rock it in the next few months.
So if you have contacts or people that might be interested in doing the business in Europe, definitely get a hold of him, get on with Peter, and then Peter will, will help you get those people going and do some training and make sure that they're really just tapped into what's going on. Well, today, Peter, the topic, obviously, since we announced the Vitality Stack, which is our nutrigenomic starter kit, I definitely wanted to focus on this pack today. And with that, we really say, or we've really been, I know, talking about how the Vitality Stack is really the foundation. It's the core system that everybody should be using daily. Why is that?
Well, Darren, I believe so. Absolutely, vitality is the correct word. It is the basic health nutrition pack. Absolutely, and why? Because it combines in my view, the four most important things when it comes to anti-aging, when it comes to making sure you're strong, facing the things that we're getting to our body and the health concerns that we may be facing later in our life. And there's so many different things out there. We all know this. You've worked in the industry a long time, nutrition. Me too. And there's so much stuff out there. But I believe in combination approaches, and that's what we do very well at LifeVantage. We've been looking at what does our body need? Can we split it up into essential parts of that functioning? And the Vitality Stacks, of course, has probiotics, have Protandim nerve 1 and nerve 2, and has the omega 3 and 7 combination. And I think that is to me the essence of health. If you start with that, you're well prepared for anything that may face your health in the future. So, it's a fantastic combination. It's something that everybody should start with.
Well, what I like about it is, obviously it's the foundation, what everybody should start with, because it answers a simple question that we always get. Okay, I've now joined LifeVantage. I want to, what do I buy? What should I be taking? Because we have a number of products, and this makes it easy to make a recommendation on, okay, this is where you start. And then maybe let's say you also have an interest in weight loss. You can branch out there, but you're still taking the Vitality Stack. Maybe you also want skincare. You still use the Vitality Stack and extend out. So I think it answers that question. Also, just the convenience factor to it is so nice. It makes it really easy. So those are a couple of things from a practical standpoint that I like. But let's talk about the product. Maybe as I'm taking it, and let's talk in order that it's really hitting our system. So, when I take the Vitality Stack, really, as it goes into my stomach, we're really talking about probably ProBio that would be up first. Why don't you talk to us about the power of ProBio and why it's so important to us?
ProBio, of course, is bacteria, right? That's what it is. And, bacteria to some people sound like bacteria, really? But, bacteria are so, so important to our overall health. You're right. They hit our system first. They get into our intestinal system in the stomach. And, that is where I would say the most important part of our health starts. It has two aspects to it. One is immune system. Absolutely. I mean, you may know babies that in the beginning, in their early times, when the first few days, it's very important they are being presented with different types of probiotics, of bacteria, because that means that they are well prepared to all kinds of immune situations later in life. Babies that don't have the appropriate probiotics in the beginning may face a lot of health concerns later in life. So it's our body, our health teaches that probiotics is the beginning of health. These bacteria, they come into our system, they give signaling molecules, they produce certain kind of nutrients that are being absorbed by our intestinal system and actually signal our brain and our immune system that they need to be prepared for a lot of things that we may face at that time or later in life. So you want to make sure you have a big variety of different bacteria. And we have a proprietary source of different bacteria. And the funny thing is, this product, you actually measure the number of bacteria, right? When you take a vitamin supplement, you talk about milligrams or weight things. But here we're actually talking about millions or billions of bacteria that are present in this product. And if you have that in your system, you have a well spread mix. you're going to have all these signaling molecules going in your body, and you're going to switch on your immune system and say, hey, be ready, because things are going to come your way. And immune system has a great memory, right? And if you make sure your intestinal gut flora, as we also call it, is prepared, is making sure that your body is best situation to prevent a lot of things from happening. And second, don't forget, the gut is where all nutrients are going to be absorbed, right? So these bacteria are going to help with that. They're going to almost pre-digest certain phytonutrients, certain ingredients, so that they're more easily absorbed. And if you neglect your intestinal health, you're going to be not absorbing as efficiently. You're going to be facing a lot more allergies, for example. You're going to be facing less protection for diseases coming later in life. So it's really important. And particularly after phases where you have, for example, diarrhea, diarrhea situation where you flush out a lot of bacteria. After that, you want to repopulate your intestines to be absolutely ready for the future. I worked at a big nutrition company that was only focused on baby milks, so milk products for very young infants. And they were always really careful about what kind of probiotics they would put in there to make sure the right bacteria are in there. So, and I'm very proud about this product, because it's not just any bacteria that they put in. They really carefully looked at what do we need and how can we make sure they are resistant to the acidic environment of the stomach. Very important. We take the product, it has to pass the acidic environment of the stomach. And not any product in the market, in the supermarket, will do that. Many of these products you take, but they're just destroyed halfway on the trip to where they need to be, which is your intestines, right? So this is a patented formula that has the right spread and has the right stability, and ending up where it needs to be working, and that is your intestines. So it's the perfect first step, absolutely. That's preparing it. They're setting the stage for future health benefits.
Now, those that see the product for the first time, let's say that I just joined, when you look at it, hopefully they can see through the glare. I mean, they're little round balls, and people may say, well, why are they little round balls? What's up with that? Do you want to explain why they're found in little round balls?
Well, I mean, it's of course palatability is an important thing, right? I mean, they swallowed more easily, and they have to end up going through your gut. And if they're round balls, they fall more easily apart. They're protected in the stomach, but they fall apart in the intestines when the bacteria come free and repopulate. And it's not just they also make more bacteria as they are in the intestines, right?
I thought it was really interesting, though, part of the technology, and I can't remember. I know we've got a couple of technologies like Wellmune, and then there's the other technology about the balls that really, as it breaks down, like you were saying, it breaks down as it progresses through the intestinal tract, so that it's not all destroyed in the stomach, like you were saying before, because things are absorbed at different areas in the intestines. And that's what I found really interesting about this, because really before coming to LifeVantage, I wasn't a big but I wasn't a big advocate of probiotics. I always just thought, all right, yeah, they're good, but now that I'm learning more of it, and I read a bunch of articles, I mean, your intestinal bacteria have been linked to everything from anxiety to mental health to, I mean, it's insane, everything that they're linked to. I mean, it's incredible.
These bacteria are friends. Bacteria sound scary to some people, but they are our friends. I mean, we need them, we live with them. And in fact, today, and particularly in America, this is an issue where we like to disinfect everything, right? I mean, it's everything must be sterile and free of anything. It actually results in sometimes being more vulnerable to health concerns, because we are also at the same time destroying part of our intestinal system. So of course there are bacteria you don't want to have, right? But the healthy gut flora is so essential. And the balls, yeah, right, layer by layer, they dissolve when they go through the tract, the intestinal tract, and they pass. There was an acidic stability coating on it, so it will pass the stomach, and then in the gut they get loose, and they can repopulate the gut as you go. As you take the product. So it is not just a pill, it is definitely designed with a purpose so that it goes step by step where it needs to be. And you just mentioned that, and this is a side thing, but it's very important with all kinds of nutrients. That's exactly the case. I mean, a nutrient A will be absorbed in the stomach, nutrient B needs to be absorbed in the small intestine, the big intestine, and it's not just giving the products, it's also thinking about how to package them, how to deliver them exactly where they need to have their maximum absorbability capacity, or bioavailability as we call it.
Maybe a good way to describe the round pills would be it's a delivery mechanism. It's really a delivery vehicle, a targeted delivery vehicle to get the product where it needs to go safely.
Exactly. I think the pioneering company on probiotics was probably Yakult. Maybe you heard about that, the Japanese company. I think they have these little drinks that you drink probiotics. But drinks is not the best thing, because they get mixed with the acid in the stomach right away, and that destroys a lot of these things, because these bacteria are not all of them, but some of them are really acid sensitive, and they just end up being dead before they reach the intestines, and that's not what you want. So this is a much smarter technology. We're advancing in things we put in capsules and pills, but we're also clearly advancing on the delivery methods, which is a secondary part to technology.
Well, let's talk about the next one. Let's go with Nerf One. Tell us about Nerf One. Why was that included in the core system of our product line?
So we are an anti-aging company. Biohacking, the complex system to understand why we age and what's associated with the aging process. And if I think about it, the two main issues with aging one is damage. We'll talk about that with Nerf 2, of course. That's the Nerf 2 thing. We live longer than before, so it means that we're accumulating much more oxidative stress damage. And the second thing, what Nerf 1 is focusing on, is slow reduction in energy production. And this already happens when you pass 25. I mean, many people, when you introduce the term aging, they think about, I'm 48, and you think like, no, I'm 47 actually. So I already aged. I got a year back. So you think like anti-aging, that's for like 20 years from now. No, it's not. It starts when you're 25. Maybe you don't feel it. Maybe you don't experience it. But you can test in your blood. You can do all kinds of assessments and find out that you're not as efficient anymore after 25 than before 25. So we are talking to the absolute whole population of the United States and of the world, and loss of energy production starts at that moment too. And as I said, you can still, of course, many people who are 30 have lots of energy, perfect. But the readily available energy that you immediately need when you want to run a few flights of stairs, or when you want to, have a lot of energy that you need for a certain activity, it's not as available as it was before you're 25. And energy is produced in your mitochondria. Mitochondria is a little organelle. Organelle is a sub-part of a cell. Every cell has them. Some cells have more. Your heart muscle has a lot of mitochondria because it needs a lot of energy. Your ear cell has less mitochondria because it doesn't need so much energy, right? But these power plants, mitochondria, are constantly working around the clock to produce our energy, and they do that in the form of ATP. ATP is like our energy molecule, and that molecule is like the gas molecule, it's called that way, that fuels all muscle activity, all energy consuming activity in our body. And it's not just muscles, it's also our brain, it's also our eyesight, it is our everything that needs energy, of course. And as we age, these mitochondria there are two problems. One is they need to be regenerated, they need to be made new all the time, because also they get destroyed and have to be refreshed. And second, when they're there, they have to produce energy efficiently, and those two aspects are going down. And a complicated biochemical term in the mitochondria is the Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is a very complex mechanism that puts out this ATP molecule, this energy molecule. And our biohacking is understanding that complex process and making sure that we keep that flywheel, so to say, because it's a circular process, flywheel spinning, right? And Nerve One is 5 ingredients, and they work on an individual part of that circle, that biochemical process. And my thing always, I mean, I'm getting a lot of questions about why natural ingredients, and some people say, well, pharmaceuticals are this and that, but I always explain it as the assembly line story. Listen to this, if it may take a few minutes. Now, let's assume we have a complex mechanism, like an assembly line. Every little part of the line does one specific thing, right, to produce that energy molecule. And a pharmaceutical is one molecule doing one thing. It would intervene in one part of that assembly line, and it would do its job for sure, but it's on one piece of it, and it's a very strong effect, so it causes typically side effects. Now, from natural components like we have in nerve 1 and nerve 2, they don't individually work as strong as pharmaceuticals, but they work on all aspects of this circle. They have different effects. Every aspect works a little bit better, and as a result, the whole circle is much more effectively promoted. So that is the difference between one pharmaceutical intervention thing and a natural mix of phytonutrients and all ordinary nutrients doing all a little part of the puzzle. That's truly biohacking, understanding that complex mechanism. So we have these 5 ingredients. As we develop products in our company, we look at individual effects in the lab, and they all have their individual stimulation effect on the energy production. But then you put them together, and then they have this fantastic thing called synergy. I mean, we see a lot of boosting each other's effect, because every little molecule has their own effect in its own little part of the mechanism. So we promote biogenesis of mitochondria, meaning we stimulate the production, the refreshment of mitochondria to keep them up to youthful levels in your body and all these cells, and we make sure the ones that are there, they're working more efficiently, producing more energy. So you will find that during your lifetime, you will have more readily available energy, and you will be, not tired. You will sleep better because you have this better balance between energy and sleep. And having energy during the day, it makes a huge difference in your vitality. It's perfect second step of the vitality pack.
Okay, great. All right, so nerve 2. Let's talk about Protandim nerve 2.
Yeah, so it's ideal combination with nerve 1. So for a very important reason is that I have to start with oxidative stress. Now, we know, of course, oxidative stress is what we target with Protandim nerve 2, our flagship product. I mean, that's what the company was founded on. And as we age, as we live longer, we're more prone to collecting damage to, I know how Natalie always uses the example of a car, and that's a very perfect example. It's damage being inflicted to all important parts of our body: our DNA, our cells, our brain, our cholesterol, our everything is constantly under attack from these things called free radicals. And free radicals are everywhere. We breathe them in. If we have bad lifestyle choices, we get them from pollution from outside. But the biggest source is our own production. Believe it or not, our own production. I was just the other day, I was in an interview with one of the researchers that did a clinical study with Protandim, and I interviewed him, and very clear to say, he says, free radicals are necessary. We need them also to detoxify our body, because they attack also bad molecules in our body. The problem is when we have too much of them, and they start attacking our vital parts of our body. And that's why if we live longer, we're going to be accumulating more damage of it. Now, the biggest source is actually the mitochondria, believe it or not. We're just talking about getting more mitochondria, but mitochondria use oxygen to produce that energy. So if we stimulate mitochondria, we're going to also induce more free radicals. And that itself is not a problem, because it's part of normal bodily function. And our body knows this, and our body has spent millions of years in evolution to deal with that issue by producing a lot of antioxidant enzyme systems, the enzyme systems that are working around the clock to protect our body against too much free radical damage. Now, Protandim is the on the forefront of antioxidative protection. Old school thinking is vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin antioxidants that you can take from your food. And yes, they have a job, they do something, but it's not efficient. Enzymes work around the clock. They work thousands and thousands times more efficient per molecule to take away free radicals. And we have developed our own protection mechanisms: superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione. And to me, it's fascinating that nutrigenomics, using biohacking to understand the system, allows us to utilize our own protective mechanisms. We don't introduce anything funny. We don't do anything strange. We're just learning what our body knows best. Our body, we're not arrogant. We don't know better than our body. Our body knows best, right? We just need to set the stage that these DNA that translates into these enzyme systems, these protective enzyme systems, is optimized, that the process is working again as in youthful age. And then Protandim NRF2 does that. 5 ingredients again. Individually, they work perfectly in lab, but now you bring the power of those 5 ingredients together and you get this wonderful synergy. And you can, our studies, our 23 different clinical studies have shown that, you are upregulating those bodily own protective systems. And by doing so, you are, perfectly preventing excessive damage and possibly preventing future degenerative diseases because of it. So many health concerns we're facing today have a direct relationship with free radical damage. I can name a few, but probably I can't. But we all know them. The top degenerative health concerns are mostly slowly damage, result of slowly occurring damage. We are stopping that. We are anti-aging our body. We make sure that we put the brakes on those development of those health concerns. So perfect combination. I have them here not for one reason, nerve 1, nerve 2, because you take them together. You stimulate the energy production. As a result, you have more free radicals. You block them with Protandim NRF2. Perfect combination.
You were saying that, these products are made for everyone, that, this is something, and you were saying your age at, 48, then 47, you already gained a year. I mean, that was anti-aging right there.
I'm going to take another one. Maybe I can go to 46 now. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe you're 46. but from my standpoint, it's really come home with, I like to compare these products to my own life. And I've always been, I've always taken supplements, tried to live healthy. And my wife, Carol Lee, has never been a really big supplement taker. She just tries to live healthy. But her parents have been aging. And her father just had a stroke a few weeks back. And that really ages somebody a lot, these big medical problems. And her mother's been having some medical problems. And she goes over and visits them. And even today, I called her when I was, at lunch to see how she was doing. And she said, I stopped by and visit my parents. And she says, I'm scared because I see my future there, that I'm going to be suffering from so many health problems that they are. And, I had to reassure her that she's not them, but people really need to start addressing these issues earlier in life rather than addressing them at the end, because look, the goal is we want to live a longer, healthier life. And that's what we're trying to do is provide better health to you in the time that we have. We want us to live better. Okay.
I think you're key point, Darren, if I may say, you're absolutely right. I mean, people wait too long. They go to a doctor, they think about health concerns once they got the diagnosis, right? And we need to realize that, it starts many, many years before that. And that's the time that we are given to intervene in that process. If we realize today that after 2025, this thing starts already, and we start intervening in that pathway towards aging, at that time with Vitality Pack, we're going to be, we're going to be delaying everything or hopefully preventing it. And that's the key, understanding that it happens even though you don't feel it at this time.
Yeah. And final, because our time is running low, omega-3. Why don't you talk to us about the power of and the need for omega fatty acids?
Right. So omega-3. I mean, there's a lot of products on the market, obviously, and you know, interestingly, it's part of food, obviously, if you eat a lot of healthy stuff. Now, you have a couple of different omega fatty acids. You have omega-3, you have omega-6, you have omega-9, you have omega-7, and it all comes down to balance. You just need. It's not any omega acid is the same thing. A fatty acid is the same thing. Now we have three omega-3. We have omega-7, and we have vitamin D. Now, the two omega products in there, first of all, the omega-3s. Now, these are not new, right? I mean, we've seen many omega-3 products on the market. It's all about the EPA and DHA. Those are the two different kinds, and they're from fish oil. Our sources is fish oil from different parts of the world, sustainable sourced, which is very important because you don't want to have, you know, the cheap products on the market have mercury in it, have heavy metals in it that are coming with farmed fish, right? We have naturally occurring sources, which means that they're much more cleaner and healthier. Now, these fish oils these omega fatty acids play a very important role in a lot of things. First of all, they are providing the boundary of all cells. It's what we call a phospholipid layer. So every cell has a lipid layer protecting it from the outside influences. So that's number one. Second, they have a very important effect in heart health. Omega-3, heart health, very well-known link. They make prevent our arteries from becoming hard and brittle. They protect our cholesterol from oxidizing. They play an important role in brain. You know, our brain is a lot of fat. If you know, there's a lot of fat in our brain, and these molecules are very essential for signaling purposes. They communicate between cells. They make sure that these molecules are transferred in signaling molecules in our brain. And when my kids were born, my wife started taking omega-3s right from the day she was pregnant, and I got very smart kids, and I think I know why. And because, you know, if you set up your brain with a lot of omega-3s, you're going to be much more better in signaling, making short links in your brain. That's very important. And your eyes as well. I did my PhD in eye research. Your eyes are very well off if you have a lot of good balanced omega-3, EPA and DHA. So those are, you know, they have so many different, it takes an hour to talk all about different things. And then omega-7, that's the unique thing about this. Not many products have that on the market. It's a very unique type of omega fish oil, and it produces also signaling molecules in our body. You know, in our body we have nerves. Those are the fast signaling between cells, right? Nerve electrical signals. But these omega molecules are used for the intermediate signaling. So they signal from one cell to another, make sure that our muscle cells get enough energy produced, make that so important in all the communications going on. But to me, it's a couple of things. It's the 3 and 7, which is a very unique mixture. It's not regularly available on the market. Omega-7 is a pretty new invention in the nutritional health industry. We know how important it is into certain signaling in our body, and that it's naturally sourced, because, you know, there's so much crap out there on the market. Let's be fair about it, you know, and we have vitamin D in it as well. And vitamin D is, you know, everybody knows vitamin D. It's an essential vitamin for, if you don't see a lot of sunlight, we produce it ourselves if you're in the sun. But if you're in Utah right now, I think it's clouded, or isn't it? Or here it's clouded, it's dark here. So we don't get a lot of vitamin D here. Very good for bone health, very good for, it has an effect in vision as well. So it's at the basis of our health. You know, it's not just specifically for one thing. It regulates so many different parts of our well-being. So it should definitely be part of this vitality stack.
Well, Peter, I'm just looking at the clock now, and boy, the time flies, especially when you're talking about 4 fundamental products that we have in the line, like that are found in the vitality stack. So thank you for taking your time. I know it's after 10 p.m. there now in Europe?
11 p.m.
Oh, it's after 11 p.m. So thank you for taking the time. And just a reminder to everyone, remember, if you want to get into a drawing for a free vitality stack, put down your name, your city, your state. We'll get you into the drawing. Just remember, very convenient, and really what we're looking for, get these on your subscription, your auto ship, and because this is the fundamental that you should be taking. And to everyone, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll have Elite Pro 9 Donna Deegan on, and she's going to talk about her business and what she's doing to grow it, and how she's incorporating the Vitality Stack and all of our products into that. So join us tomorrow with Elite Pro 9 Donna Deegan. Again, Peter, thank you, and keep up the good work in Europe. And again, if you have any contacts in Europe, Peter's your guy there to help you out. So, all right.
I'm here to help. Bye-bye.
See you later, Peter. See you later, everybody. Thanks for joining us.